Hello students, now in this video let's see the resolution of degeneracy and optimality for degenerate solution of transportation problem. Resolution of degeneracy and optimality for degenerate solution of transportation problem. This is our topic here. Now, what does here? We have seen that the degeneracy can occur at any stage and it can be resolved by allocating or assigning an artificial quantity or a small quantity epsilon in the unoccupied cell with lowest cost or in the cell which will fail in determining the unique values of UI and Vj. It is also note that epsilon is so small that it does not affect the Riem conditions. That is, summation supply equal to summation demand. It doesn't affect these one. Okay. Now we will see the examples on various things that are the example on degeneracy at initial stage, degeneracy in between, and degeneracy for unbalanced TP. We will see examples for these cases. So let's see first case, degeneracy at initial stage. Degeneracy at initial stage. Example, obtain IBFS by VAM and find optimal solution optimal solution to the following TP, to the following transportation problem. And the transportation problem is, it is D1, D2, D3, D4, and here supply, and here origin 1, origin 2, origin 3, these are destinations, you know these. Here demand, the costs are 2, 3, 4, 5, and the supply is 6. Here the 5, 4, 3, 1, and the supply is 8. 1, 3, 3, 2, and the supply is 10. So what is the total here? It is 14 and 10, 24. What about demand? Demand are 4, 6, 8 and 6. So this is 14 and 10, 24. So it is balanced. So we can easily determine initial basic feasible solution, and then let's find the optimal solution for this transportation problem. Okay. So now let's solve this one. So solution for this problem, what can we say? Summation supply equal to summation demand. Therefore, it is balanced transportation problem. By VAM, let's find the initial basic feasible solution. So let's do it. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here it is supply. It is 5, 4, 3, 1. This is 1, 3, 3, 2. Here it is 8, here it is 10, and then 4, 6, 8, 6. So here it will be 4, 6, 8, 6 as such. You know it is 24. Now for VAM we need to determine penalties. So row penalty and column penalty. Penalties. Okay. So now let's determine row penalties and column penalty. Here it is 1, here it is 0, here again 0, here again 1. What about this? Here 1, here it will be 2, here it is 1. So the highest penalty among these one is 2. So our first allocation is in this row. Fine. So here the lowest cost is this 1. So allocation is in this cell. So for this cell the allocation is minimum of this 6 and 8. So it will be 6. So I will allocate 6 here. This 6 is get satisfied. So this column is get cancelled. So our column is get satisfied. Column constraint get satisfied means our row penalties will change. So what about the row penalty? Here it is again 1, What is the row penalty here? Here the row penalty is now 1 and here the row penalty is now 2. Okay, this column is get cancelled. So now again this 2 is maximum among the remaining penalties. So our next allocation is in this row. So in this row again we won't consider this cell because this column is get satisfied. Simply consider these 3 cells. Out of these 3, this one has a minimum cost. So here this cell will have our next allocation will be minimum of 4 and 10. So it will be 4. So as 4 is get satisfied, so here how much left? 6. Similarly here how much left? 2 are left. Okay, I forgot to write that one. Fine. Now again this column is get satisfied, so simply these 2 columns are left now and here the all rows are left. So let's, as this column is get satisfied, so let's determine again the row penalty. So what is the row penalty here again? Here again 1 and here it will be 0. Here this column is get satisfied, so we won't consider this one. These are zeros, this is 0 and these are 1. So we have to consider out of these ones the next allocation will be, let me take it in this row. So here this column is get satisfied, this column is get satisfied. So minimum among these 2 cells is 3. So our next allocation is out of these. So this is, it will be 6 here. So this row is get satisfied, this column is also get satisfied. So both of them get satisfied. So now only here these 2 cells are left. So this must have allocation 2, this must have allocation 6. So this 2, 6 get satisfied, 2 and 6 here 8 is get satisfied. Similarly, as such this will be our initial basic feasible solution. But this is not a basic feasible solution, this will be initial solution simply because number of allocations are how many here? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And how many rows are there? 3 rows, 4 columns. So 3 plus 4, 7 minus 1 will be 6. 6 not equal to 5. So this is not a basic feasible solution. As it is not a basic feasible solution, so it is a degenerate solution. It is not non-degenerate solution. Means that degeneracy at initial stage. This is a problem for degeneracy at initial stage. Such a time the degeneracy may occur at initial stage. So here what can I say? Total number of allocations. Total number of allocations. Total number of allocations equal to 5 and it is not equal to m plus n minus 1, that is 3 plus 4 minus 1, that is what? 6. These are equal. This is unequal to these. Fine. Therefore this says there is a degeneracy in a solution, and hence test of optimality cannot be applied. So we must resolve the degeneracy. So allocate epsilon to cell. Now let's find out that cell. So here look at the table again. So here the minimum cost out of the unoccupied cell. So minimum cost out of unoccupied cell is this 2 as well as this 2. One has an allocation. Okay. Unoccupied cell having these two are the minimum cost. So here at least at one position, let's we allocate this epsilon, a very small quantity. This is a very small quantity, this epsilon. Okay, so let's allocate this in cell 1 1. Suppose cell 1 1. This here also we can allocate it epsilon, or here also we can allocate it. Now while this allocation is done, so now cell 1 1 is get considered as an occupied cell, thus the degeneracy of solution has been resolved. So here now number of allocations becomes 6, so that is equal to m plus n minus 1. So means it will become a basic feasible solution. So we can easily test the optimality for this one. So now cell 1 1 can be considered to be occupied cell, and thus the degeneracy of the solution has been resolved. Therefore, test of optimality. Let's apply that one. So for that, let me prepare a table. So here let's write the costs. So here U1, U2, U3, V1, V2, V3, V4. So now here we have been put up epsilon, here 6, here 2, here 6, here 4, and here 6. These are our allocations using VAM. Okay, now let's determine these UIs and VJs, and also let we determine delta IJ also. So let's do that. Now we can assume either V3 0 or U1 0, or U3 also 0, U2 also 0. Most of them have 2 allocations. So let me take U1 0. U1 0, then due to that, what about V2? V2 plus U1 will be this 3. So V2 will be how much? 3. Again V1 plus U1 will be 2. So it will be 2. As this is 2 and here it is 1. So addition of U3 and 2 will be 1. So 2 minus 1 will be what? 1. Now again U3 is minus 1. So V3 and U3 will be 3. So what should be this? This is 4. 4 minus 1 will be what? 3. Again this is 4. 4 plus what will be? 3. So 4 minus 1 will be 3. Again this is minus 1, and the number V4 plus U2 will be what? 1. So V4 must be how much? 2. 2 minus 1 will be what? 1. Fine. Now we have found UI and VJ. Let's find out delta IJ. So now delta IJ, this is addition. This is 4 minus 4, so it will be 0. This is 2 minus 5, so it will be minus 3. Again this is 2 minus 1 will be 1 minus 5, so it is minus 4. Okay, then this is 3 minus 1 will be 2, 2 minus 4 will be what? Minus 2. Okay, now what is here? This is 3 minus 1 will be 2, 2 minus 3 will be minus 1. What about this? This is 1, 1 minus 2 is again minus 1. So all delta ij are less equal 0. This is 0 means it has an alternate solution. So all delta ij are less equal 0 means what can we say? Here this is an optimal solution since all delta ij less equal 0 indicates current solution is optimal. Current solution is optimal. It is an optimal solution. What is the optimal cost? Therefore, the optimal cost is equal to this, what? 2 into epsilon plus 6 into 3, so it will be 18, plus this is 6, this is 6 plus 4 plus 18. So how much is this? This will be 52 plus 2 epsilon. 52 plus 2 epsilon. So this is near about rupees 52. Why does this? Because epsilon tends to what? 0. Epsilon is a very small quantity, so it is negligible. We will neglect this part. So here for that, let me write one note. Always remember, while getting the optimal solution or the optimal cost, always remember this epsilon should be neglected. We won't consider that one. Okay, we will remove that one from the optimal cost. So for that purpose, let's write one note. When optimal solution is reached, optimal solution is epsilon should be removed from optimal cost. It will be removed from optimal cost. Now second, degeneracy at intermediate stage. So now what does that? Let's see. Look at it. Sometimes degeneracy occur during the test of optimality because of selection of unoccupied cell with maximum positive opportunity cost. Sometimes two or more occupied cell becomes unoccupied during transfer in closed path. While subtracting the quantity from minus theta, sometimes what happened? Two or more occupied cells becomes unoccupied. We have solved such a problem once. You can go through that. So I just write this simply. Sometimes degeneracy occurs during test of optimality because the selection of unoccupied cell with maximum positive maximum positive opportunity cost sometimes push two or more occupied cells unoccupied during transfers in closed path